Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Carl. I'm a recovery coach here at Capital Recovery Center. This is our coffee and conversation meeting for today. The article I do have here, it says how to build healthy relationships in sobriety. So it says understanding the impact of sobriety on the interpersonal dynamics. It says completing the journey towards sobriety is a significant achievement, yet it marks just the beginning of forging new pathways in personal and in interpersonal domains. A crucial part of this journey involves rebuilding relationships that might have been strained or even broken due to addiction. Sobriety paves the way for clearer insight, better self awareness, and healthier connections, which are essential for sustained recovery and personal growth. In this guide, we'll unravel practical strategies to nurture healthy relationships during this transformation period. Yeah, it's important to rebuild the relationship actually with self, but rebuilding these relationships that we, I want to say, so-called burnt some bridges or some relationships that are shaky and because life's about and recovery is about relationships. I've learned that in early recovery, and it's very important to rebuild these relationships that we thought once was lost. It says economic, economic strain and social isolation during addiction. Addiction often brings significant economic hardships into relationships, financial burdens such as medical bills, legal fees, and the loss of income can lead to stress and conflict between partners, families, and friends beyond financial consequences. Individuals struggling with addiction frequently experience social isolation as their substance use can alienate them from loved ones and supportive community. This distance can exacerbate feelings of loneliness, pushing individuals deeper into their addiction and further straining relationships. Yes, so some of the things that we can destroy in relationships is our families, our friends. That's on a relationship aspect of it. But it says beyond like the financial consequences, like it talks about medical bills, legal fees. I've put myself in debt, and a lot of legal issues and a lot of, um, fines and all that. And, I probably had a stack of medical bills, so I didn't know how much damage I was causing, not just for myself, but like, to everything around me. And I put myself and my family and friends in the debt, financial debt, but also the financial and the mental beating I put on them. It was pretty bad. So I have to, you know, first get better, but then I have to amend these relationships and amend these relationships, but like also financially, make amends also. Because like I said, I used to use everything and everybody, and I definitely put a financial strain on a lot of people due to my active addiction. And like money can never repay. Like I don't have an amount of money that I can pay them back that I took. But I can uh, apologize and not repeat the same mistakes. And that's what recovery has taught me is like um, amend these relationships is a must, but like I can financially pay them back. But ultimately, the goal is like put things into action and not repeat the same mistakes and not steal and lie from them and actually be visible and available to help them. I think yeah, money is nice, but like to actually put things into action to like, apologize and, be there for them, I think, adds up more than money. It says the emotional impact on family and friends. The emotional toll on addiction on family and friends can be devastating. Loved ones may experience a range of feelings, including anger, frustration, helplessness, and guilt. This emotional upheaval often results in breakdowns in communication, making it challenging to foster healthy connections as trust is repeatedly broken through deceit and broken promises. Rebuilding these relationships become a difficult but necessary part of recovery. It requires patience and open conversation about past mistakes and along with the commitment to make amends. Yeah, like I said earlier, like I've learned like relationships are very important in recovery and outside of recovery, and like we need all that support from family and friends, and like we have to amend these relationships. Some relationships we can't amend, you know, and that's okay too. That's where acceptance and surrender and maybe one day some of these relationships that we thought was once lost can be amended, but like it takes action, right? It talks about repeating the broken thought, deceit, and broken promises. You know, I always say I apologize and I promise, and repeat the same mistakes over and over and over. And so like nobody, I eventually didn't take my word for it. You know, and I learned in recovery is like I put things into action today. You know, my words follow my actions, and my actions follow my words. So like my actions speak louder than words, you know, because we can say a lot of things. And I was full of a lot of lies and it just manipulation. It was just, you know, it was always a scheme with things, you know, to get what I want, right? But now I can like really put things into action. They can see me changing instead of saying things once I always did. You know, my relationships gotten better, my relationships got stronger. Um, and it takes time. It takes time, and some people will forgive you, and some people won't forgive you. You know, and that's just a part of the recovery process. And as long as I stay in position to keep doing the right thing for the right reasons and not repeating the same mistakes, right? And trying to not get perfect, but to get better. Um, you know, these relationships will amend, you know, but it does definitely takes time. It says understanding the cycle of addiction and its consequences. Understanding the cycle of addiction is essential to grasp its impact on personal relationships, addictive behaviors, and create codependency between partners, leading one individual to feel overly responsible for others' well being. This dynamic often enables harmful behavior, inhibits personal growth. Recognizing these patterns allows individuals in recovery to set boundaries that protect their sobriety and promote healthier relationships. Understand the cycle of addiction and its consequences. And listen, life is full of consequences. As before, like I didn't think about any of the consequences, right? And when I did think about it, I still acted out and didn't. I would just act out and think later, right? Like I didn't think before I acted, and the consequences always call out to me. Um, and that leads to jails, institutions, and almost ultimately death. You know, and the consequences are always there, right? Even if I'm using or if I'm in recovery, like I have to be mindful that I don't want to live like that no more. You know, like the consequences gotten great enough to like I don't want to keep on repeating the same mistakes and repeating the same patterns. And it was just as talks about the cycle. You know, it just didn't stop. It was the same patterns over and over and over again. And I wasn't willing to stop. And that's where the part like where recovery has branched off for me was I had the willingness to do something different because what I was doing wasn't working, you know, and I just could not break out of the self-centeredness nature of addiction, and like I couldn't grasp um, what life had to offer. You know, I just thought I was going to use and keep on using until and ultimately I was just going to die from active addiction. And like my story didn't have to end that way, right? And that's what I had to build my self-esteem. I had to have some self-love. I had to accept and surrender that you know what drugs and alcohol made me be. It was like a monster, right? So like I'm not that person when I'm clean. You know, my past doesn't define who I am. The things I've done, the things I've been through, doesn't make who I am today, right? So it's like I understand today, like I was caught in a grip of active addiction, and the drugs and alcohol just make me into somebody that I'm not. And like I had to come to terms with that. And like I had to really sit with self and reflect on like what I really wanted to do in life. You know, do I want to keep using drugs and alcohol and causing more chaos and conflict and misery with my family and friends and the world around me, or do I want to get clean and have a good life? You know, I had to break that pattern, and it took work. It took a lot of work, and it still continues to take work. But it's worth it. Like I had to come to a point in life that like I had to see it for myself. You know, people could tell me, um, you know, things that the gifts of recovery, right? And still, until I started to see that in my life, I started to believe that I could get better. You know, we were like evidence based people, right? We like to see things work in our lives until we start to believe it, and that's what like a little bit what it took me to like seeing me changing and growing and living a life without drugs and alcohol, and I started to get better with self, and I was like I started to believe like this could work for me. Let's see here. What are some practical steps to rebuild relationships in recovery? It says rebuilding relationships after addiction involves a series of deliberate actions and sincere intentions. First, engaging in therapy, whether individuals, family, or couples therapy, can provide a structured environment to address the emotional scars left by addiction. This helps individuals recognize the trauma their loved ones may have experienced, such as betrayal and loss of trust. I like how it says, you know, engage in like some type of therapy for couples or family, which I think is crucial because we all deal with a lot of trauma, not just for the individual that was struggling with active addiction, but our families and friends and our better halves, you know, whatever the case may be, what kind of relationship it is. It's always good to like seek professional help because there's a lot, it talks about scars and there's a lot of damage and trauma and a lot of things that are left behind, right? So we have to deal with them, and it can be uncomfortable to deal with that, you know. So it's always nice to like get a third party or like some therapy or counseling to help you facilitate that, you know, because I know like when two people can get into a room and there's a lot of past experiences and trauma and the guilt and shame and frustration and anger, sometimes it doesn't go too well. So I've noticed that like sometimes things or I think therapy and counseling it can be definitely beneficial, and sometimes it's needed. You know, because like I said, it's hard to get two people together and like have some healthy communication when all this stuff like went on. You know, so it's always good to get somebody in the middle to help you navigate through that. It says reflecting on past behaviors, taking the time to evaluate previous actions can provide insight and facilitate discussions, making amends, apologizing sincerely for past hurt, and can begin the healing process. Active listening, showing genuine interest in the feelings of others, fostering understanding and connection. Participate in support groups, programs like Al-Anon, Naranon, and particularly valuable for family members dealing with their own emotional struggles related to addiction. Yeah, so we talk about it's not just a uh, personal problem, right? It's a family disease because like the person that struggles with drugs and alcohol, the family suffers just as much as the person that was struggling with alcohol and drugs. You know, so like family definitely needs support. There is support groups for families and it's very crucial to because you think about it, say the person that was struggling with addiction, right, is getting the treatment that they need and the support and they're working on themselves, but the family's not, or the relationship they're trying to amend or build is not working towards the same kind of aspect. Usually you guys are going to butt heads and might just part ways, right? It's going to be harder to like amend that relationship if one person's working on it and another person's not. So like it's got to be a we thing, not just a me thing. It says importance of honesty and patience. Honesty is a cornerstone for a rebuilding trust. Individuals in recovery must share their journey openly, helping loved ones understand their struggles and intentions. Trust takes time to repair and requires ongoing patience. Acknowledging past mistakes while consistently demonstrating commitment to change help restore faith and relationship. And it says honesty is a cornerstone of rebuilding trust. Yeah, honesty goes a long way, right? And first, I had to get honest with self, right? If I'm getting honest with everybody else, and if I'm not getting honest with self, I'm not going to go too far, right? So I had to like really get honest with self first to begin to be honest with others, right? And I have defined some select few in early recovery to be honest with, to really open up and let them know what's really going on with me, right? And that takes trust. That takes a lot of trust. And which, from like my background, like I didn't even trust myself, so how could I trust others? So like honesty is very important to be open and honest with somebody, right? And that's like I'm in a 12-step fellowship. I have a sponsor, and I have great co-workers. I have mentors. I have pastor. I have people I can trust and I can be honest with, and they help me. It's freeing to be open and honest of my past and the things I've done, the things I've been through, things I've seen. It's freeing to let go of that stuff. And it says helping loved ones understand their struggles and intentions. Yeah, so like it helps me to let go of all these struggles and things that I've been through, and sharing it with somebody else. It can be more at peace. And it says importance of honesty and patience. And I have to be patient with self. I have to be patient with myself, which can be tough. Says role, let's see here, the role of support groups and family healing. Support groups play an essential role in healing journey for families affected by addiction. They offer a safe space for loved ones to express their fears and frustrations, helping them to process their emotions. Additionally, these groups can provide tools to navigate the complexity of relationships and recovery, ensuring them that both the individual and their family can grow together. Together, fostering a strong community and support network can significantly enhance the recovery experience and facilitate healthier connections. I like that. It says that both individuals and their family can grow together. The role of support groups and family healing. Yeah, like I said earlier, like we have to, come together and to heal and deal with our past traumas or past conflicts. And it's tough to really sit down with people that that I caused harm to, and to apologize. And but it's needed. It's needed. It has to be done. But it's in time. It's a process. Sometimes some days is just not meant to try to amend these relationships. Like it's time consuming, right? It can be too early, sometimes too late. So it's very crucial when we make these amends. And sometimes it can cause more harm than good. So I got to be mindful of that. I got to be very mindful. I don't want to make matters worse. I don't want to make the relationship worse. So like I have to be careful. What I say, how I say things, when I say things, because I already caused enough damage, right? I don't want to cause more. So it says the importance of establishing healthy boundaries. Building healthy relationships during recovery begins with setting clear boundaries. This is crucial to protect your sobriety and mental health. By communicating your limits about substance use behaviors, you create a safe space that discourages triggers and promotes recovery. Healthy boundaries help you maintain self-worth and ensure that relationships are supportive rather than enabling. Yeah, it talks about boundaries, some healthy boundaries, because like I know people, facing things can have triggers that come along with it. So I have to, people I love and care about, but they can, bring up a lot of negative emotions and feelings that can trigger you, right? And that's just not about drugs and alcohol, but can bring up fear, anger, frustration. It can bring up a lot of negative feelings. And like I have to put some healthy boundaries in place. And until I started getting better with self, right? And when I started working on self and getting better through this process and this journey of recovery, I can deal with people, places, and things a lot better. And I have to come to that point where we all need healthy boundaries. I don't let people, places, and things to get to me today, and I don't surround myself in the same people, places, and things that I used to. I don't participate in a lot of that today, so it's a crucial step to um, take care of yourself and put boundaries in place so I don't resort back to old behaviors, right? And it's about sustaining a long-lasting recovery. And I had to put plan in place and avoid people, places, and things that's not beneficial to my recovery. Because I don't want to go backwards. I want to go forward. And I want to get better and I want to change. Let's go to this last one here. It says, effective communication and maintain sobriety. Open and honest communication is vital for nurturing relationships, especially during recovery. It involves discussing feelings, fears, and aspirations with partners and friends. Using effective communication can help in establishing mutual respect and understanding, avoiding defensiveness, and actively listening, foster deeper connections, enhance support, essential during the healing process. Yes, communication is a big, big thing in recovery, just in life in general. Effective communication maintains sobriety. So, like, I have to be open, honest, and I have to communicate. Healthy communication. And I didn't have coping skills. Couldn't manage my emotions and feelings. I always suppressed my emotions and feelings with drugs and alcohol. So having effective communication is a key factor. Then you're going to be on the long-lasting road to recovery, and when you can actually, have some communication and just being open and honest and helping others, and helping yourself first and helping others. But just being there for my family and friends, the ones that I caused harm to, communicating to them, just explain a little bit like what active addiction did to me, to be just open and honest with them. Now, you don't have to be like that with everybody, but just like give them some insight, give them some insight that might can help the amending process, right? And it just takes time. It's a process of healing and dealing with our emotions and feelings. And I think open communication is very important. And it's a lot freeing to be open and honest with others. Instead of I have to lie, connive, and be deceitful, and just people are not going to trust me if I keep on doing the same behaviors in recovery, right? So I have to change. I have to change completely. But that was our end of the meeting today. So that's how to build healthy relationships in sobriety and understand the impact of sobriety on the interpersonal dynamics. My name is Carl. I'm a recovery coach here at Capital Recovery Center. Until next time, we'll see you later.